Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Touring John, and today I want to review the Polygon Path E Pedelec. This is the 2009 edition. This year they brought out a Polygon Path E5. In some ways this bike is superior to the newer model. I will get to that in a moment. So yeah, this video is just an overview about this bike. I haven't seen any reviews or much information about this bike, so I'm putting that out there now. Sorry, I'm in Australia right now as well, and so you'll probably hear planes and yeah, lots of birds singing, tweeting. That's the I forget the name of it actually, something minor, noisy minor bird in the background there. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly take you around the bike. So this is the side view, and then if we go to the front, we have the front view. Looks very streamlined, and then the crank side, and then we have the rear. Okay, so you can see it's very streamlined, very nice bike. This is actually lighter than the Polygon Path E5 by I think this 1 kg difference. So there's that. So I'm going to start from the front and then move to the rear and talk about its features. So first of all, we've got the light. This light is very powerful, by the way, and in fact you have front and rear lights. So let's just quickly show you there. And to turn them on, it's very simple. Just press this button right here. And these are super bright lights, by the way. And although can't quite tell in daylight, but trust me, that's super bright, both on the rear and on the front. And then just to turn it off, you just hold it down like that as well. I'm going to turn this off for now, and I'll show you more about the display in a minute. Okay, all right. So yeah, first you can see on the front of the bike the lights. There's the Polygon logo, very nice indeed. And this bike has really tough wheels. The spokes are well tensioned, and it comes with Schwalbe Performance, actually Schwalbe Marathon Supreme tires. So they're proper puncture resistant. They're actually a slick wheel. So these wheels are not really good for off-road, but they're awesome for on-roads. You can also see we have a front fender and a rear one as well. Unfortunately, when this bike came in its box, there was something on top, so it's kind of bent the fender a little bit. But that can easily be rectified. I just haven't done that yet. So yeah, and the one feature actually on this bike I really like are the disc rotors. These disc rotors are huge, and this bike is also has hydraulic disc brakes. So here's the hydraulic lever, very nice indeed, Shimano, and here's the disc caliper right there. The forks, these forks here are aluminium. That's something I like more than the Path E, because the Path E 5 has carbon forks. So yeah, carbon forks are lighter, they take more what's the word, they take more shock from the rider. However though, the reason why I would prefer to have an aluminium fork is because down here you have points for a front rack. So yeah, you could put a front rack here, and that might be handy if you're touring. So that was the whole reason of buying this bike, by the way. I wanted to buy this for touring, so I could put a front rack on here, which is good. Let's go up to the top, and on the top you can see we have quick shifters, and this is a 10-speed. So just on one side you have the quick shifters, on the opposite side you have the controller for the e-bike, and then you have the display. Now when using this bike, first you have to turn on the actual display, turn on the actual e-bike engine. I'm sorry, it's a little bit bright today. Let me come around this side. So here we go. Here is the display, the computer. If you lose this display, you can take it off, by the way. It's just unclip it here. If you lose this computer, then the e-bike will not work. Alright, so we can see right here I have 50% battery left, and on the left side, the controller, the top button is the menu button. So let's see if I can get a better picture here. So you see that there. So the first screen is this one. So it talks about the ranges. So at the moment, with 50% battery left, we've got 23 kilometers. If I use full performance, normal 33, eco 49 kilometers. That's actually not true, because these values change as you ride. It's true, I guess, if you're going to start riding up a hill, the battery will run out really quick. But if you're assisting the motor with your own efforts, it will actually go longer. I will show you that later in another video. So the buttons here basically means up and down. So what you can do here is I'm going to change it to high mode. Okay, that means full assist. And then I can show you the menu here as well. So you can see the time I've ridden for 1 hour 41 minutes. I've averaged 24.4 kilometers an hour so far, and I went up a mountain earlier, 2 kilometer, it's not really a mountain, 2 kilometer hill, and it's pretty steep. It's called Mount Gravatt, and it is 198 meters elevation. I think that's what it is. 53.9 kilometers maximum speed that I've done today. That's going downhill. Distance 41.3 kilometers. And total distance this bike has done is 348. So I bought this bike, it's ex-demo from Bicycles Online, and then you have this feature, but I find this is redundant because you can select how far you want to go, and then what will happen is it will put the mode. So if I select 49 kilometers range, it will put me into eco mode, so I'll definitely be able to reach that distance. But you can kind of, I'll show you why it's redundant here. See here, you can just select that mode anyway, so I don't see the point of that. The handlebars, okay, the grip is just a normal handlebar grip, nothing special there. If I was going to keep this bike, I would definitely change those out to something more ergonomical, but it's not bad. And we have a bell. Top tube is really nice, so I'll come around this side now so you can see it. Top tube has a really nice matte black finish, and yeah, it's really nice. This bike is really nicely painted and made. Okay, so let's move on down to the battery. Okay, so this is the Shimano Steps battery, and this is the deal breaker with this bike for me, unfortunately. Remember, I want to tour on this bike, and I'll show you the opposite side. So here, okay, we have the key to remove this battery. So you put it in and then twist it, and then you pull the battery to the side, which is nice, by the way. This is the nicest way to get an e-bike off a battery. Sorry, battery off an e-bike. But down here you can see you can charge the battery from here. Okay, let me get in there. And so, yeah, you just plug in the power source into that part there, and then the bike battery will start charging. Unfortunately though, that's the only way to charge this battery. So you can't take the battery off the bike and then charge it, let's say in Starbucks or McDonald's or a library. And for me, touring, that makes it super inconvenient. So that's why this is a deal breaker for me, unfortunately. However though, if you are buying such a bike for city riding and you take it into your house every day, or you have a garage, then you won't have a problem with this bike. let's go below. So this is the Shimano Steps E600 engine, and I'll go around to the opposite side. So this is the chainring side, and yeah, I found that this motor is really good. It's 250 watt motor with 50 Newton meters torque, and that is actually better than the Path E5 2020 edition, because the 2020 edition is actually 40 Newton meters torque, both same 250 watt engine. However though, another deal breaker about this bike is the gate. So what gate means is, if we look from the top view down, sorry, it's a little bit difficult to get this view. You see the pedals? If I move this up here, right? Now if you was to measure from the seat tube to this point here, alright, that is 9.5 centimeters in width, distance. And to give you a comparison, on my race bike it's 5.5 centimeters. So what this means, this is the gate, what this means is this distance here, and on the opposite side, what this means is when you're pedaling you feel like your legs are out wider, and for me that's not a very comfortable feeling for my left knee. And a reason why I bought an e-bike as well is because I have knee issues, and for touring I thought, well, if I have an e-bike it'll help me with my knee, I'll be able to climb really easy, and so, you know, less knee pain. So yep, that's deal breaker number 2. I also want to point out something else as well. If we go down here, okay, so here's the motor, and obviously there's a little gap here, there's a little wire poking out too. There's a little gap here. Now I spoke to Bicycles Online, and they said that actually this is a Shimano Steps design, and that's absolutely normal to have that gap there. But for me personally, I'm a little bit concerned because we've got the full fender, right? If it's raining really heavy, and in Australia it rains very heavy, water could be flicked up into this area here, and I'm worried that it will actually flood the motor. Now Bicycles Online say that actually this is fully waterproof, so there won't be an issue in that regard. So yeah, that's a bit of a concern. Here's the Bicycles Online sticker right there. And what else? Okay, so here's the rear fender, or mudguard, depending on which country you're from. And this is the rack, very nice rack indeed. And the mudguard actually fixes to the rack, and it also fixes to the frame point here. The rack from the top view is quite slim. It can hold up to 25 kg, and obviously the rear light is fixed on the back. And like I said, these lights are powered by the battery, so yeah, you're always going to have lights on your bike, which is amazing. Oh, I forgot to talk about the gears. So yeah, it's a 10-speed gear, rapid shift, and the cassette on the back, alright, the cassette on the back is 1132, alright, so that's actually quite a good gear range. And the the chainring at the front is a 44 tooth, so 4411 is absolutely awesome for an e-bike. That means you can get up to some really good speeds on the flats, and the gear range on the back, as long as you have the assistance of the e-bike motor, then 32 will help you climb a lot of hills. If you don't have assistance from the e-bike motor because you've run out of power, it's still okay for climbing. 44, 32, yeah, so there we go. And then underneath we have a Shimano Dior XT derailleur. This derailleur is very nice. Shifts, honestly, the bike shifts so good. And that's about it, really. Oh, and the seat. I guess we've got to come to the seat. This is can be a contentious issue because everyone's bum is different. Me personally, I don't like this seat. I haven't adjusted it to fit my butt perfectly because you can move it backwards and forwards. Because I'm going to send this bike back because the 2 deal breakers that I spoke about earlier. However, though, I'm not a fan of this seat, and if I were to keep this bike, I'd replace the seat. But for you out there, you might enjoy the seat. It's quite springy, quite soft, but I have a better seat. And you just have standard pedals as well. Oh, and another great feature on this bike that I like is the stand. Now, many bikes come with stands, but they're not solid. They're not like very sturdy. This one is. I absolutely love it. Seriously, this is probably one of the best stands I've ever had on a bike. So if you used to put luggage on the rack and then put the stand down, it would actually hold it up. So yeah. The frame is solid as well. It doesn't flex or anything like that. It's aluminium frame. So all in all, it's a great bike. Just those 2 niggles I've had really is not being able to charge the battery and the gate being a little bit too wide whilst riding. Other than that, I think it's a great bike. Oh, there's one more thing as well. So for touring, especially long distances, which you could definitely do on this bike, on eco mode, you can go up to 150 kilometers on one charge in eco mode. Although it's not saying that on the display, I believe it can, because yesterday I tried this bike out and I did 60 kilometers on high and I still have 35% battery left. So the range that the website suggests is that this bike can actually go 70 kilometers on high full charge. Normal, it will go 100 kilometers, and eco mode it will go 150. I believe that it will go much further. So yeah, problems with the frame would be that it just doesn't have, on the seat tube, it doesn't have the actual water bottle mounts, sadly. So there's no water bottle mount here, there's no mount here, there's no mount here. You can make do water bottle mounts, but it would have been really good to see that on the bike naturally. So yep. Anything else? Oh, and the positioning on the bike as well, actually. Yeah, this head tube here is really large. Let's see if I can get that. And so you see how high the stem is here. So you're sitting up really high, and so it's super comfortable to ride this bike, apart from the seat. So that's pretty much my overview of this bike. I'm going to make another video of me riding it, and then I'll review this bike too. So any questions, write them in the comments section below, and subscribe if you like to. Bye for now.